welcome back to another episode of our message recap. We are going to recap the message that we did here this past weekend. It was week 3 of our series Conversations with Jesus Cristo.
Yeshua.
and all up to this point, we've kind of been asking the question, like, what would you want to ask Jesus if you could sit down and talk with him, if you were to have a conversation with him? And kind of this message was the flip side of like what Jesus would want to talk to us about, or more so him just wanting to talk to us, right?
Yeah, I think the emphasis was he wants to have a conversation with us, and generally speaking, we don't want to get that close.
Yeah.
If we're really honest with ourselves, we don't want to get that close. Why? Even if we believe in him and everything's cool, we don't want to get that close. There's a fear. And I think for all of us, whether we have it now, we've all had it in the past, maybe you still have it, a fear that Jesus just wants to talk to us, but if I sit down and have an eye-to-eye conversation with him, he's going to reveal things that I'm embarrassed about. He's going to ask me to give and do things that I don't want to. And so I think our fear is, I want to get close. I don't want to get that close. I don't want to get that, vulnerable with Jesus, because he's going to point out things in my life. He's going to convict me, make me feel guilty. Yeah. Because I already know I'm doing some things, but if I don't bring it up, we're cool this distance. So Jesus wants to. But the whole point of the message was, maybe that's not what he wants to talk to us about. Yeah. He's aware of our lives. He's aware how all of those things in our life that we're trying to hide, those guilt and that shame and stuff, he's aware of all of that. That's not what he wants to talk to us about.
I love how you pointed that out too. You said, I love how some of us think that, well, I can't sit down with Jesus because he might figure out this about me. As if he doesn't already know.
So hard part, though, would be admitting it to Jesus. You know what I mean? That's why we would try to avoid it.
I think it's extremely freeing. We've talked about this many times in the past. When we have a time with God, when we're praying, talking to God, the more open and honest we can be with him, the more freeing we become. Because he already knows it. It's not like we have any secrets, Yeah. And just when we open up to him, there's an incredible freeing.
The only barrier that's there is us. So just get through it.
But we found it with the woman at the well that what he really wanted to have a conversation about was healing her life inside. He said, hey, I'm living water. Basically, it comes down to this. Jesus would tell every one of us, hey, if you would just allow me to be a part of your life, I will satisfy you like the world cannot, like nothing else can. Truly satisfy you. That's what he wants. Not
at a certain place, not with your hands certain way, just be with me.
Yep. And I think that was the last part of his conversation with her was, you don't have to go to a temple. You don't have to go to a mountain. You don't have to. There's no religious stuff involved in this. It's relationship. Wherever you are, however you want to, whatever you're most comfortable, just take time with me. Conversation.
So how do you feel about religion?
I don't even, you know what?
Don't want to get into it in this one?
Oh, it just more and more upsets me. It does. Because religion is man-made. Even in Christianity, I mean, we do things, and we've been you and I have been in the habit the last 5 years of asking, why do you do that? Is it true? Who made that up? So many things in Christianity, we've added religious to it. Like, who made that up? I don't find that in Jesus' teaching. I don't see the Apostle Paul or James or Peter, anybody talking about that. We make this stuff up. Yeah. We don't. It's just putting garbage on a relationship with God. Let's simplify it back to its original intention, and that is a relationship with God. And it just drives me nuts. You too. People call like the church the house of God. Just irritates me.
Yep.
Why? Because then we think, well, God, the presence of God is stronger in the house of God than he is in my car. That is not true. That is a lie. His Spirit is with you wherever you go.
Yeah, but when you're up at the altar speaking,
no. You can talk about that one.
Behind the pulpit.
Yeah, altars.
So is religion partially to blame for our hesitance to sit down with Jesus?
Yes.
I think religion is almost all to blame for our guilt, for us feeling unworthy to talk to him, for us being unable to reach him. I think religion is the number one reason why we can't connect to God. Religion gets in the way. And we feel we can't, when actually the gospel, Jesus Christ came so that we can. He took every single barrier out of the way. Everyone.
And we just keep building them back up.
Yep.
I think that's also the reason it's hard to achieve the mission as well. It's religion. It would be the number one reason.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've always thought, like, why do people... Where's the logic behind, well, I need to be perfect before I can come to church? Or I need to have my life together before I can have a relationship with God. What?
And
I better be healthy before I go to the hospital. You know?
Jesus addressed that exact point right on, and he said, "The well don't need a doctor."
Yeah.
I mean, he came. I came for the sick. I came for the people who, hey, all of you that don't need me, or you think you're good enough. I can't connect with you.
Yeah.
I can only connect with the people that realize, guess what? I can't be good enough. Good. You're the ones I came for.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yep.
Let's talk. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us, especially if you could find a chapter and a verse for Maundy Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Could you explain to us how
No,
Jesus
I
established?
don't even know what Maundy Thursday is.
Okay.
I never heard the term until like 3 years ago.
So again, we would say,
I haven't heard the term until just now.
who in the world made that up?
Yeah,
Who made that up?
that's the thing. I think it's a Catholic thing, isn't it?
So
I was thinking, this past Sunday was Palm Sunday. Like, well, like they laid some palm branches down. That doesn't mean we need to do it 2,000 years later and like make some big deal out of what? Like it's just Sunday.
Yeah.
What? I don't know.
People have
you just triggered
made
people.
Sorry.
people have made some kind of a spiritual connotation to doing that. When, hey, is it good to remember Jesus coming into Jerusalem that last time and he cried over? Yeah, there's some meaningful things there.
There's no inherent
But
value in a
there's
palm
no
branch.
inherent value in reliving palm branches. I think it's just the lessons of everyday Christianity. But it's religion
I don't know
has
what any of that
screwed
is.
people up. It has.
I know Good Friday and I know Sunday.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know what any of the days are. Isn't there like a whole week of days?
Oh yeah.
Passover.
Actually, there's
That was a dumb question. Of
there's
course, there's a week of days.
There's a whole month of religious
Lent.
duties. Yeah, Lent.
Yeah.
And like, who made that up? I don't know. Where'd that come from?
Again, not that fasting or giving up something to focus on God is not a bad idea, but like that it's at the same time we think we have to do it to be closer to God is
Somehow portraying an image, now not coming out and saying it, but portraying an image that this will make you holier if you observe this.
What about I am really not trying to make fun, but just the Maundy Thursday thing. What's with like the
Ash
the
Wednesday.
ashes?
Ash Wednesday,
Is that
That is a reminder that to dust you came and to dust you shall return. Not a bad thought. That should be a daily thought, not a once a year.
Yeah.
That should be a daily thought. That's just called Christian perspective, that, you know what, this life is short. We're going to turn to dust. We are eternal beings with God. And is there anything wrong with reminding people that? No. But here's the problem with it. It's a great thing to remind people, but the guilt we put on people if they don't observe it. See, it's that...
or the reverse, that somehow, now you're closer to God because you did.
Like somehow this is a spiritual
problem.
experience. No, it's not. It's just a reminder. It's
I just forgot to wash my forehead.
yeah. And we
boy.
make this stuff up. I think originally most of this stuff was made up for good, to remind people of stuff, but it has turned into a...
When you
Like you
lose
say-
your why, you lose your way.
Exactly. When you forget the purpose of it,
I
it
stole that
doesn't...
from somebody. That's
Oh.
not me.
It doesn't
Okay.
make you more holy. It doesn't make you, more right with God. And I think that with these ceremonies, we inadvertently give people the impression that that's a religious thing to do. And like Jesus didn't, no, there's nothing you have to do. If you want to do stuff, fine, but nothing's going to make you holy. Nothing's going to make you right with God except for putting your faith in Jesus Christ, which you need to come for Easter, by the way.
Oh, spoiler.
Like we didn't know.
Dang it. Okay.
We've
never talked about that before.
We should talk about Revelation
On Easter?
We should do the Christmas story.
Yeah.
Although,
There we go.
hey,
The birth
So
of
Mary.
Jesus.
here's what's troubling for pastors or for even Christians is trying to make Easter special when every day we live Easter every single day.
Yeah.
Christmas is a part of our everyday relationship with God and connection. So it's a daily thing, and so it's hard to make Easter special. All it is just the time that we remember. It's not special in a sense. That day, as a matter of fact, the Apostle Paul would say, don't ever make one day more special than another. He's talking about religious holidays. Every day is a connection, revelation, new life with God. And when we turn one day into more sacred than another, we're then going out of bounds.
What about foods, though?
What do you mean? No, same thing.
What?
Food is food.
But what about beverages?
Beverages are
fermented versus non-fermented.
Okay, here's interesting. If the certain people are watching this,
We are really off the message recap. But
Here is a point we really need to understand, and I mean that's why it's not a message, because we started with have a beer with Jesus, and I know this
Full
for a
circle
fact.
fermentation.
Okay, for a fact, and anyone out there can argue or try to disprove this, but we know from the eyewitnesses that lived with Jesus and what they reported and wrote down for us that Jesus would drink any beverage given to him. We know that. We know that he drank fermented wine more than one occasion, not just the wedding.
Yeah, he was accused of being a drunkard.
He was accused
You don't
of
get
being
that by drinking water.
You don't get that by drinking water.
Well, the water he had.
And,
Looks like water going in, but as soon as it hits the throat.
Jesus ate things
great
that were
trick.
ceremonial. Jesus ate grain on the Sabbath. He did things that were against the law, Jewish law, in a
Counterculture.
sense, because they lost the meaning. That's exactly kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Is they lost their why.
Well, he did it on purpose.
He did it
Just
to prove a point. That
Exactly.
you guys have taken this too far. You've lost the purpose.
You love
of
to stir the pot. Just how many people can I make angry today?
So this idea that as a Christian you will make yourself unclean by what you eat or drink is made up. It is not Christianity. It is not what Jesus would say or do. Unless it is pure arsenic, it is not poison or unclean. As a matter of fact, even the Apostle Paul said anything eaten or drank with thanks is fine. Now,
Not a license to.
don't overindulge in anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. You shouldn't overindulge in eating, in drinking, in makeup, in exercising, in motorcycling. This idea of living your life in balance is maturity. And for far too long, we as Christians have said, well, if there's, instead of just being mature, balanced, we'll just call that evil and go the other way. Well, that's not growing up. Growing up is maturing and being able to control yourself in all situations, not avoid situations, but control yourself in all situations and to be under control all the time. And that just, I don't know. We've demonized things that should have never been demonized. And we allow things that should never. We are going down the wrong track. I'd love to talk about all that.
sit with
but-
him.
Yeah. So
sit
in
with
a
him.
nutshell, set religion aside so that you are able to sit with Jesus
There you go.
because he wants to sit with you.
Boom.
And his purpose for sitting with you is not to judge you, condemn you, or get you to live better. His purpose, he wants to so bad. And I just imagine his passion as he's begging each one of us, come and sit down. Just spend some time with me. Why? Why do you want to spend time with me? So I can satisfy every need you have in here. The need to be accepted, I will satisfy. Need to be somebody, I will satisfy. The need to be valued, I will satisfy. The need to to be fulfilled. I will satisfy all of these things. There's something that we came up with the other day, just kind of accidentally, but and that was, it was kind of a catchy phrase, but I think it fits right here. That is this, that I will always be self-absorbed until myself is absorbed by God. And I think about that for a while, but that's what Jesus wants to do. Mm-hmm. He wants to absorb in our lives, for us to be so absorbed in him that there's no selfishness left. Mm-hmm. There's no need. We're full. Can you imagine being full and satisfied? That's what Jesus came to offer.
Okay. There you go. All right.
There you have it.
Oh, my baby's starting to cry in the corner. So that's the end of this episode. That message is called Sit With Him. It'll pop up here in a second. Make sure to watch that. And make sure to be here this upcoming Sunday for Easter. Invite a friend and have them invite a friend. And just come enjoy that day. Yep. But as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We will see you next week.